Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review. Today we are looking at the Umarex Smith and Wesson M29. This is an over 8-inch barrel shell loading CO2 BB revolver. This is the tabletop review. This does come in an airsoft version as well, not a pellet version. So you have steel BB, so 4.5mm steel BB and 6mm plastic airsoft rounds. Now, I haven't done the field test shooting video for this gun or the airsoft version. All I have right now is the BB version, so I will be doing that field test shooting video next week. But until then, I don't really know what the performance will be like. All I can do is speculate. Now, this gun is available in both our Canada and our US online Replica Airgun stores over at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. I'll put links in the description if you're interested in buying this gun. All right, let's get right into the specifications. It's pretty much an all-metal design gun, and it weighs in at a nice hefty 2.5 pounds or 1,135 grams. The barrel is 8-inch, but it's actually 8.375 inches, and it's smoothbore barrel since it's not a pellet revolver. Can you shoot pellets in it? Possibly, would have to try it out, but oftentimes you can put pellets through the BB barrels, and you can put BBs through the pellet barrels. Just depends on the diameter of the barrel and everything. Now, this gun uses a single 12-gram CO2 cartridge. Now, the total length is 12.13 inches, and it does use a single 12-gram CO2 cartridge. Again, it shoots 4.5mm steel BBs, and it has that shell loading 6-round cylinder. We'll take a look when I show you around this gun. It does shoot in both single and double action, and it has a claimed FPS of 415. Now, the rear sight is adjustable for windage. I don't believe it is adjustable for elevation. And you have sort of a red dot slash, not really fiber optic, but there's this sort of red plastic wedge in the front sight there, and I'll show you that again when I do the walk around. Now, this gun is Smith and Wesson licensed via Umarex, and you'll notice it has a nice black chrome finish, which is kind of good and bad in terms of how it looks, but not so good with fingerprints. And it also has simulated wood grips. Those aren't real wood, but they do look really good. And if you haven't already noticed, this is a replica of the Smith and Wesson M29 44 Magnum, and I'm going to call it Dirty Harry Revolver. If you're familiar with the Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry movies, this is one of the guns he used. He often used a high-powered pistol of some sort. This was one of them that he used in, I believe, I'm not sure which movie, but there was a few Dirty Harry movies with different guns in them. Now, this gun is, again, distributed by Umarex and made in Taiwan. Let's take a look at the box. It does come in this nice box, nicely finished. You'll see that 6 shells are included. They're in the gun at the moment, so they're not in the box. I've taken everything out. So you have 400, well, it says here 420. I thought it was 415. Just depends on what specifications you get it from. We'll find out again when I do the field test shooting video what it really is. Steel BBs. Single cartridge there, 12 gram, right? There's the shell loading cartridge, 12 gram. Double and single action. Rear sight is adjustable. There it shows for, at least for windage. I know that for sure. I'm not really sure about elevation, but I know for sure windage. We'll take a look closer up if I can find out if it does have elevation. We might be able to see it when I look at it a little closer, but I'm pretty sure it's just windage. Again, 4.5mm, capacity 6 rounds. All the same stuff pretty much on the front. Just says readjustable here, doesn't say what it's for. Double and single action trigger, smoothbore barrel, 8.375 inch barrel, weight 2.45 pounds, length 14.1 inches. And there you go, your yardage that it's dangerous. Nice picture on the back. Inside, you've got the manual, of course, with more information. We're not going to go through this too quickly or too extensively, rather quickly that is. So we'll see here. And I will show you this pistol grip, that it does have the Allen key on it. So it shows you that in the manual. Shows you how to get to the controls of the gun, make it safe and fire. How to tighten the CO2 with the Allen key there. The screw. There's your rounds. They're rear loading rounds, not front loading. Some of the shells are front loading, but these ones are rear loading. Okay, how to sight it in, aim it. What does it have? Okay, well, it's showing that it's adjustable for windage and elevation here. So we'll take a look at that. You never know. That would be kind of nice, actually, to have fully adjustable sight for windage and elevation. So before I get into the big walk around, we're going to compare it to a few guns. I don't have anything exactly like it, but I do have the Dan Wesson, right? This is the 715, I believe. Yeah, This is a nice pistol. I really like it. You know, it's a more modern gun, obviously. This one's in your standard chrome instead of your black chrome. This is shell loading, but they are different shells. These ones are actually front loading BB shells, and they're a little bit thinner. So if I won't actually be able to put a shell from here and here, it's too thick. Although they're very similar. They're more like a 38 or 357 size as opposed to a so this is the 357 Magnum. I believe it's a 715. Yeah, it's a 715. But even though, now this would be like a 357 Magnum, so the shells are accurate. For 44 Magnum, the shells are going to be a little bit smaller in diameter than they should be, but that's okay. So this is a nice gun for sure. I do want to show, this is a 38T, I believe, a Crossman 38T. Old school gun, but it's kind of the most similar in terms of revolver and barrel shape and everything, but this would be more of a 38 caliber instead of a 44. A little smaller gun in general, but similar shape. So I just wanted to show that real quick. And then something really old school, but the shells are the same. So this is an Umarex / Air Venturi product. So what I mean by that is it has the Colt and the Duke licensing. So Air Venturi has the Duke licensing, Umarex has the Colt licensing, but the shells, I'm going to leave one out here, are kind of the same. Even though this is the pellet version, the shells are very, very similar. They fit in both guns because these are both Umarex products. All right, let's take a quick look around this gun. It is really nice. You're going to see a lot of fingerprints on it. It's just, I know, it's just the way it is. But until you get really close, you don't see them too bad. It's this black chrome finish, which you're going to want to polish quite a bit if you don't want those fingerprints on it. If you don't care, that's fine. You don't really see them until you get in close and start angling it in the light, but it will show a lot of fingerprints for sure. So this is your safe. All the way back would be safe, and this is how you open the cylinder, right? And you just push that in to pop them out. Now I did want to show you that these shells are very similar. Okay. One just happens to be gold. This is a pellet shell, but it should still work with either BBs or pellets actually. And they're both rear loading. So if I show you here, the pellet version will fit in there just fine. There's a little bit of wiggle room, but they both are like that. Okay. Just gonna let that roll around. So you do have a single action and double action trigger, quite nice. You do have this rear sight, which apparently is adjustable for windage and elevation. So the windage adjustment would be there, and I guess this would adjust elevation, okay? I would think that that would like keep it from coming off, but I guess you can adjust the elevation with that top screw a little bit. Probably not a lot, but a little bit. Here's that front sight. It's not really fiber optic, it's more of a plastic, okay? Looks like it's even got a scratch in it. Maybe mine had some sort of a nick, but hopefully yours doesn't have that. Maybe made contact with something. I didn't do anything that I'm aware of, but don't really see it unless you get zoomed in here with the camera. I can't really see it with my eyes too well. Eyes are getting a little bit old. 44 Magnum on the barrel. You have Smith and Wesson on the other side. Now this I don't like too much, this white lettering here. It's okay to have it on there, but maybe they could have put it somewhere else. There aren't any real warning instructions on here, which is good. It's just this right here, which doesn't look great. You do have Smith and Wesson branding on the grips, and as you can see, there's some nice wood grips, right, with more Smith and Wesson branding. Instructions there for safe and open and fire. Okay, and you'll see that it's quite an open barrel opening there, close to, I would say, a 44 Magnum for sure. All right, because if you put this in here, you got a lot of wiggle room, and that's at 38. Okay, now you just pop off your right hand side grip, and you can adjust or basically tighten up the CO2, right? So you just take standard 12-gram CO2 cartridges, go in there. You're never going to lose the Allen key, which is nice. Pop that all back on when you're done. Just do it from the top first, top in first, and then pop it in. Okay, so there's your sight picture a little bit. There's your CO2 valve there. Right, nice gun, really nice gun for sure. All right, let's go over some pros and cons. You gotta love the classic, iconic 44 Magnum, and I'm gonna call it the movie revolver because it is in the Dirty Harry movie and probably got a lot of attention from that show. It's nice that it's all metal, which gives it that good overall weight at close to 2.5 pounds. It's a big gun, so you kind of expect it to weigh a fair amount. And there's lots of detail in this gun. It's well made. The fit and finish is very good. You're also going to find Smith and Wesson licensing all over this product via Umarex. Now, I do love the black chrome look overall, but it is prone to fingerprints. Keep that in mind. And the simulated wood grips look really good. They look realistic enough to me. And this gun should have pretty good overall power with that long barrel, and I expect it to be fairly accurate from my typical shooting of these types of revolvers. Now, Umarex, I believe, claims around 80 shots per CO2, so you're going to get quite a few cylinder and shell reloads. So you might want to get some more shells to make that shooting a little bit quicker. And that rear sight is adjustable for windage and apparently elevation with that red sight on the front. That'll help with the sight picture. I also like that the Allen key is built into the grip so you don't lose it and it's always where you need it to be. And that recessed barrel is true to the 44 Magnum size opening, which is nice. And again, that trigger pull in both single and double action is fairly good. Not the lightest, but definitely usable. And I'll find out when I do the field test how it feels in terms of shooting for accuracy. All right, just a few cons. Now the shells are closer to 357 or 38 caliber, not 44 Magnum as the gun actually is. And that's similar with the Colt or the Dukes here. You know, they're supposed to be a 45 caliber gun, yet they're using these similar 38 or 357 shells. So it'd be nice if there was a 45 caliber version of the shell. You know, I just think it would be a little nicer, more true to size. I don't like that white writing on the right side around the trigger guard. Everything else is super nice about this gun, the markings and the licensing and everything, and then you got that, it kind of stands out a little bit. And that black chrome finish really shows the fingerprints, so you might want to have a rag or some sort of a cloth around that you can polish off those fingerprints if it bothers you at all. All right, again, look forward to the shooting video coming up next week where I'll perform accuracy and velocity tests on this product. The Umarex Smith and Wesson M29 is available in both our Canada and our US online replica airgun stores over at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for US. We generally will have it available in both 4.5mm steel BB and 6mm airsoft versions for now until possibly Umarex comes out with a pellet version. As far as I know, that's not available yet. If you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, you can check out the Canada and US store as well for those products. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.